Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Shabbat Shalom. Today na Sunday number 3 day for the month of October 2021. My name na Capo Daniel, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonia Defense Forces, aka Sense Pass King. I bring una today a special edition of my daily podcast, which will be translating the speech of the President of the Ambazonia Governing Council, leader of our War of Liberation, Dr. Cho Ayaba, addressed to the nation on the 60th anniversary of the independence of Ambazonia, Southern British Cameroon.
My fellow Ambazonians,
my country people them for Ambazonia,
well, we begin this evening by
start the evening
taking a moment to salute
for take some time for
all
salute
of our defense forces.
all our defense forces
We
them.
never forget
We'll not ever forget
the ultimate sacrifice.
the one way they don't pay the
Those
highest
that make
price.
personal sacrifices every day.
The one way they make personal
Staying
sacrifice
alert
every day.
and standing guard
The one way they stand for God,
of our people's right to life.
for defend our people their right for
As we
life.
celebrate our day of independence,
As we celebrate the day for
let's keep in
independence,
mind all those
make we remember
enormous sacrifices
all the one way
for
they
our
don't pay
collective freedom.
big price for freedom
Remember
for
the
all man.
thousands of our people
Make we remember the thousand for people them where they stay for bush, where they face danger them for inside forest. 100 for 1,000 for people them for Ambazonia, then they for refugee camp them,
to be under threat,
where their safety they be threatened
of the stars, hoping for the dawn of a new day
as they hope
in Ambazonia.
for a new day for freedom for
Let us
Ambazonia.
uplift the millions of Ambazonians
May we
spread
lift
across
up
the globe,
the millions for Ambazonia the way they for diaspora, where they look for a place for home where it be
Let's
free.
not forget the thousands of our people
May we not forget thousands for Ambazonia them where they for
them
prison,
to die because
where la Republic it don't condemn them for kill them.
identity. We remember those nameless IDPs
May we remember all the IDP them who will not even remember their name. They work for insecurity for other country them.
for us to make it possible for them.
They wait, may we make and maybe possible. May them come back for their house.
My fellow countrymen and women,
My country people them.
there are equally those working behind the scenes whose names
There are plenty people them where they work for back. We will not know ever sabi them.
guarantee the rights and freedoms.
The way they work, it guarantee say me Ambazonia the way they nobody had born them.
These are
Me then give freedom. The people then are true people where they love country.
heroines.
The one are the true hero them
Let
for
us remind
Ambazonia.
ourselves briefly where we have been.
May we remember ourselves place where we be.
1960, La République du Cameroon.
For 1960, La République du Cameroun they became independent from France.
Ambazonia was still a UN trust territory.
Ambazonia ABC being a territory where they under United Nations.
In 1961,
For 1961, La République du Cameroun it be capture Ambazonia.
armed police force.
Our army, our police, they no be give plenty ammunition them.
Even though Ambazonia had its own prime minister and head of government,
Even though Ambazonia it be give prime minister, it be give own government.
their constitution into La Constitution.
La République du Cameroun they be change their constitution into federal constitution, and then them put laissez-passer for our people. They also introduced for do kale
Subjugation and control.
and start for control our people them under the law.
Lost its identity.
Ambazonia be lost its
Became
identity.
the northwest and southwest region of La République du Cameroon.
Will become na northwest and southwest for inside La
La
Republique.
Republic went on with its crackdown on our people.
La Republique continue for begin punish and target our people. People then like late and Ben Mukong,
Speak up and challenge the government of Amadu
where they be
Ahijo.
try for talk for challenge Amadu Ahijo.
Heroes like Dr. Enanchong,
True hero them like Dr. Ngwani,
Dr. Bate Bisson,
Dr. Bate Bisson, Henry Fossong, Molanjo Litumbe,
Dinkas.
Gorji Dinka.
Von Dinka was incarcerated in March of 1980,
From Gorji Dinka they be put for prison
declaring the independence of Ambazonia.
because he be declare independence for
In
Ambazonia.
1990, they executed members of the Social Democratic Party.
For 1990 they be keep plenty people for SDF because they be try for study political party.
1997,
For March for 1997,
Dr. Wakwanga,
police then be catch Dr. Akwanga
300 mostly SCYL and
and catch
SCMC
over
actors,
300 SCLC
jail them
member
for
them
extended periods of time without
and put them for
process.
prison for long time with no trial.
Such arrest,
This
torture,
type of
and
arrest
detention
them and torture and detention,
continued, including targeted
they don't
killings of
continue,
Ambazonians
including the one where they
when they
target
demand
people for kill
basic
them.
needs such as
For
having
Ambazonia, the way they
way
do
to
ask
take
them,
their children,
na simple thing for
being
teach their
diploma
picking for school
registration.
for language where they want them.
Committed extrajudicial killings of
Like
our
Republic du
intellectuals
Cameroon, they
who
kill
dare
people them
to
where they
speak
need to
out
put them for
against
trial.
these injustices. Killing dozens more,
They don't kill plenty people
daring to demand
where they don't try for
Ambazonian
acts.
Board of Education,
Ambazonia a right for
and
educating
many
picking them.
more for mentioning the need to reform the
And they
colonial
kill
state.
plenty people them because they ask me to change form of state.
Over 30,000 of our people have now been killed.
Over
in the current
30,000
phase
for our people they don't be
of
killed
our war of liberation.
because of the war they fight for
Over
free our
500
country.
villages burned.
Over 500
1
villages
million
them they don't
internally
burn them.
displaced, with over 60,000
Thousands of
refugees
in
in neighboring
IDP them
countries.
plus refugee them for neighboring country them.
Thousands in bushes,
Thousands of people then
and
see there for
whatever was
bush.
left of our economy brought to
The
shambles.
small thing will be remain for our economy they don't destroy
We
and all.
believe they do this to
We
cover
believe
our
say La
faces,
Republic they do this one
but the tides of freedom cannot be halted.
for cover our face, but the kind of freedom we want them enough be
Fellow
stopped.
people, today we honor the
My country
sacrifices
people
of all
them today
those
we
who
dey
have
honor
contributed
all man where they don't
in the
persecute
defense
ye
of our right to life,
because they dey
freedom,
defend
and dignity
Ambazonia their right for life
above
and for
all our
dignity
homeland.
above all our
As we
country.
celebrate this day,
As we dey celebrate this day,
we must be reminded
we must remember
that it is
say
up to us to
it
continue
being
to
up for
confront this
we
evil.
to confront the evil for La
All of
Republic
us, with all our might and honor
with
of
all our
obligation,
power
believe
and all
the
dedication
cause for which
and the belief
those that came before
for the
us have
thing where those who are
sacrificed.
know they don't sacrifice and before be the
We
fight
have
for.
made some real progress
We don't make baby progress them
in diplomacy.
for diplomacy,
We secure necessary access to key diplomatic channels.
for secure things and if you hear we
Expanded our
will get
critical network
diplomatic
of foreign
progress,
partners and friends
get plenty
who have
international partner
legitimate
and friend
international recognition
where
of the
they
independence
recognize
and
we
sovereignty of Ambazonia.
our sovereign power.
We work to secure a second guarantor of Ambazonia.
We will work for make sure say we will get another guarantor we go there for we for our back for diplomacy.
The Ambazonian Governing Council has made tremendous progress.
Ambazonia Governing Council it don't make plenty progress
Despite relentless backdoor attempts by infiltrators
despite the fact say some people them when are infiltrated them they don't try for spoil them.
to undermine every effort in achieving progress.
Where they try for spoil all the effort them what they put them for make progress.
We have been successful in redirecting our diplomatic positions
We don't be successful for redirect the diplomatic effort them.
and have charted a clear direction for our liberation diplomacy.
We don't make a very clear way roadmap for our liberation.
As I had previously stated,
As I began
we have
talk
set
before,
a clear benchmark on the Swiss mediation intention.
we don't put things the way we want them for concerning this Swiss negotiation, where it must be for we according to our standard.
Our policy is clear.
Our own standard them it be very clear
Every diplomatic initiative or endeavor,
for all diplomatic things them. Our standard it be very clear.
all our international efforts on any negotiations shall meet the following requirements.
All the international effort them for bring negotiation must meet up this our standard them.
They shall be communicated publicly,
All negotiation there must be talk 'em for public me all man in the year.
meet international standards,
It must meet up the international standard for negotiation them for other places than for the war.
transparent and solely in the interest of an independent Ambazonia.
It must be open for all man for no way to where it happen, and it must be for the interest for independence for Ambazonia.
We pledge for Ambazonia our obligation to brief you on every development within such a process.
With the promise Ambazonia say we will begin tell them any progress will be make for this diplomacy for negotiation.
We will continue to strengthen the robustness of our diplomatic engagements.
We will continue for begin the increase the diplomacy we will do them
with a clear vision of what we desire for our collective future.
with clear understanding for which way we want them for the future.
In defense,
For defense,
intensify the defense of our people.
We go increase the defense for our people them.
Create more safe zones in our homeland.
We go create more liberated area them. That means the area under Ambazonia physical control for inside our homeland for ground zero.
Those who wish can find protection in.
So that people the way they want them, they fit stay for those area them. They could be protected.
In the past year, your forces have made immeasurable progress in mobilization.
For the past year, our forces them, they don't bring plenty people them together.
Liberation, stabilization of large swaths of territory.
For the area the way we don't free them from Cameroon control. We don't bring plenty people them for they together. For stabilize the area, me then get life as normal.
They have significantly improved their operational capabilities.
Our soldiers they don't improve the way they operate within this area them for our control.
And have increased their combat effectiveness.
They don't also increase their style them for fight. Their tactics they don't improve.
Our development and deployment of road mines.
The way we would put the road bomb them now, this IED them,
has restricted the movement of enemy forces across the territory.
It reduced the way La Republic be the work papas for inside Ambazonia.
We have shared this technology with other forces across the territory.
We don't share this technology with other forces them within there for inside Ambazonia.
And we have observed the effectiveness of this technology against their armored columns.
And we don't see say this IED them, the roadside bomb them, it work very well against the Cameroon, their convoy them.
Wide effects of these technologies have generated a lot of social media euphoria.
Why people that don't like this video them way they come out way they show this bomb them way they target La Republic their moto them.
The perceptible result of this effectiveness has been the almost complete stall in the enemy's ability to invade villages and pursue massacres of civilians.
The result where it don't happen, I say La Republic it don't slow down the way they be the attack village them, keep people them anyhow. It don't slow them. Now the effect that for that bomb them.
We have more technologies under development.
We they develop plenty style them for bomb them, better bomb them.
When the time is right, we will discover and appreciate the ingenuity of our forces.
When the time go come, we go already see them say we do correct work them for back concerning the new bomb the way they fix them.
In anti-kidnapping.
For this thing for kidnapping for ransom or calling.
We've intensified and significantly reduced kidnappings.
We don't try for fight this kidnapping and we don't reduce them plenty.
And all such barbarisms by bandits.
And all those babatin the way bad boy they do them, rough work them.
Cameroon forces and sponsored agents.
The one the way na La Republic Atanganji boy they do them, plus the one the way they sponsor them, me then do them.
And whimsical individuals who have taken advantage of our liberation struggle.
And some people then way they don't just see Ambazonian struggle for take advantage, begin do all the kind things them.
To enrich themselves.
Where they do want make money now for themselves.
The Ambazonian Defense Forces has made significant progress in the fight against kidnapping and banditry across Bamenda specifically.
The ADF, Ambazonia Defense Force, it don't make plenty progress for reduce kidnapping for ransom, especially for inside Bamenda.
Since the commissioning of the anti-kidnapping squad.
Since we make the anti-kidnapping squad.
Under the command of the Deputy Defense Chief of the ADF.
Under the control of the Deputy Defense for the ADF, DDC.
Capo Daniel, Bamenda has witnessed an 80% drop in kidnapping and armed robbery cases.
Capo Daniel, where they lead that group, they don't over-reduce kidnapping for ransom, for inside Bamenda in particular.
Bamenda is witness to this reality.
Bamenda then fit testify, where they fit thank
the entire team for such a remarkable achievement.
The entire team for the anti-kidnapping squad who would do this success within record period of time with our forces then for tanker.
Find other areas within the Bafut perimeter.
Some area then they around Bafut Day
that are still inundated.
Where some rough work that they still happen for day, some kidnapping that they still happen for day.
But we are taking steps working with local forces to ensure that our population is protected.
But we talk with the force them where they live for that area, would they discuss with the local force them for make sure say me just bad work them is stop.
And in our alliance with Biafra,
with our alliance, who would then join for make combi with Biafra people.
Our alliance with Biafra is strong and blossoming.
The alliance will get them. With Biafra them, it work fine. It progress very well.
It has altered the geostrategic calculations.
It don't change the way the international community they calculate things them.
In the entire Gulf of Guinea.
For the whole Gulf of Guinea area.
It positions Ambazonia and Biafra as major players.
It don't put Ambazonia and Biafra like major people them. People the way them be very important for that region.
Within the Gulf of Guinea.
For the Gulf of Guinea.
That widens the scope of opportunities relevant for both nations attaining their desired aspirations.
It don't increase the relevance, the calculation for the international system concerning Ambazonia and Biafra, their rule where they need for play them for the whole that region.
Our alliances have generated immense panic.
Our alliance, it don't make them put fear.
Confusion within La Republic and Nigeria.
Inside La Republic and Nigeria, fear them enter them.
We have successfully complicated their calculations.
We don't complicate the way they be the calculated thing, it will go work for their side.
Over an easy political, psychological, and diplomatic victory over
where they be get them as they be the calculate the psychological victory they get them diplomatically and physically. This thing would run chakara for their brain.
Our struggles, their frantic, confused back and forth consultations.
They run up and down. They consult each other. Na sign for confusion.
Testament to the recognition of the strength, purpose, and commitments of the alliance.
It shows say they fear the alliance very well and they know thing with the alliance it be capable for doing.
Ambazonia and Biafra are no longer internal but international questions.
So the issue for Ambazonia and Biafra now not be just internal issue for La Republic and Nigeria, but an international issue.
We will only continue to build and strengthening in our march towards liberation.
We will only continue for the build this relationship with Biafra them as we move towards independence.
Set the stage for post-independence economic and cultural cooperation.
And it will also prepare road for make we get good economic relationship, cultural relationship, and plenty relationship with the Biafra people.
In our civilians' governance and stabilization exercise.
For the side for our civilian them for take control for inside Ambazonia area, they will control them.
We have expanded liberated territory.
We don't increase the place where we control them physically.
By significantly increasing our fighting force.
By make our force them plenty.
Achieving greater coordination amongst them.
And also the way they coordinate, they be able to talk and plan their things them, it increase.
Increasing their material and technological military kinetics.
We don't also increase their hardware. That means a thing where they carry them for do war, their gun them, we don't add them, motor them, with plenty things they would add them for them.
Abilities. We've expanded and set up more transitional administrative structures on the ground in more.
So we don't also open some administration them for ground, this transitional authority them.
Liberated areas.
For the place where we free them.
More community schools and healthcare services on the ground.
We don't open plenty community school them with health care, like clinic them, this type of hospital things them for ground.
Encourage private education institutions to support public community schools.
We don't also ask private school them and make them support community school them.
And put an end once and for all to educational administration under Cameroon from kindergarten to high school in Ambazonia.
For end La Republique, a foreign government, their educational institution them for inside Ambazonia from primary school to high school.
We have continued to dismantle the occupation symbols and institutions.
We don't move the symbol them for La Republique and their institution the way they for inside Ambazonia.
We banned all of occupation schools and offered you an alternative through community schools.
We don't ban all La Republique du Cameroon, their school them, but we don't give another chance, another choice for our people them in a community school.
These schools are built, owned, and managed by the communities themselves in liberated areas.
This school them be opened by the people them for the villages them, or for the place them where they school them they, and it be managed now by the community them for the people them for the place where they school them they.
Thousands of pupils now attend school under our liberation curriculum.
Thousands of Pekin they now they go school for under our own curriculum for the school them, for community school them.
Your soldiers in their liberation effort have not limited themselves to physical fights against the enemy.
Our soldier them, our Amber boy them, the ADF them, they never just stop, they just limit themselves for begin the fight against La Republique, their army.
Through our stabilization and governance policies,
we get stabilization and government policy where they also implement them.
They have ensured not only the creation and running of community schools all across liberated areas,
they don't make them sure semi-school them be possible, community school them, for area the world and free them.
They have erected local governance authorities across communities.
We don't also build governing institution them, transitional authority them, for inside the community them.
You will witness, and you must have witnessed their marvelous achievements in the stabilization of communities across the territory.
I sure say we already see for ground zero the feel the area them where they can be stabilized, this liberated zone them inside our community them.
As far as our refugees are concerned,
concerning refugee them,
we intend to revive humanitarian assistance to refugees and begin.
We go start for do them again for put attention for the humanitarian crisis for refugee them.
Realizing the refugee resettlement program.
For make sure say the resettlement program for refugee them make it come true.
We have set up an ongoing scheme for the resettlement of refugees in third countries.
We then set up some plan for put refugee them for resettle them for another country them other than La Republique and Nigeria.
Nigeria is becoming very unsafe for our refugees.
Nigeria it no be safe at all for our refugee them.
As I've always stated, that being a refugee should never be considered an unfortunate fate.
Like as it be done the talk, make man no feel safe for be refugee, it don't turn a bad luck.
It should rather be taken as an opportunity into greater and meaningful dreams.
But if we take advantage for be refugee, for achieve big dream them.
Your situation should be taken as a challenge.
Your situation, them you take and listen a challenge.
And as a new opportunity.
As like take and learn a new opportunity.
I encourage all refugees to register with the UNHCR.
And encourage all refugees them, me then go do registration for that United Nations Office for Refugee.
Submit their applications for resettlement process, which we have initiated.
And then me then give with their result slip for that refugee application, so that we go feel help them for process them for resettle for another country.
Young and strong have the opportunity to enroll and train for the defense of homeland.
Make them too then try for begin see where they fit try for join effort them for free homeland.
It's noble to fight and die as a hero for your nation.
Now very good thing, now noble thing for fight and die for your country.
To perish as a dismal slave in a foreign country.
Than for go die like person where he do suffer and suffer for another country.
Finally, we will adopt the Ambazonia Independence Manifesto.
Finally, for last thing, we will adopt the manifesto, the book, the document where he present with the plan for do the value them for Ambazonia, a manifesto.
That should spell out not only what we fight against.
Where he go tell and he go show not be only the thing we will fight against.
But also what we
fight for. Which we will fight for.
Dear Ambazonians,
my fellow country people for Ambazonia,
the dream that drove our forebearers to lay the foundation for a great nation is alive.
The dream where we make our forefather them put foundation for our independence, it be alive.
Ambazonia shall rise again.
Ambazonia, it will wake up again.
It is time we begin to ask ourselves this question.
Now time for we for begin ask ourselves this question.
What kind of Ambazonia shall we deliver to our people?
Now, which kind Ambazonia where we go giam for our people them?
You have been told many times
Unarambi, they be done tell una plenty time
who the enemy is
who the enemy be
or are.
or are.
What are you fighting against?
Which way would they
The
fight
strategy
against?
that will defeat the enemy.
The strategy, the way they could defeat the enemy, they don't tell una before.
No one has clearly explained to you
No man nobody already explain and find for una.
what you are fighting for.
Which way would they fight for?
Just remember
Only remember,
that underneath the chaos,
under this chaos we dey, the chakara,
bickering, division,
noise, division,
and infighting,
and infighting
there are
them.
Ambazonians who want to know
Then they way Ambazonia, then they way they want know
why they are fighting and dying.
why they fight and they die.
Finland topped the World Happiness Report
Finland be done show the war report card for happiness
for the 4th year.
for the
on the
four
roll as
four
the
year.
world's happiest country.
Finland now being at the happiest place for the whole world according to
World
2021
Happiness Report.
happiness
Is
report
Finland
card.
the happiest country in the world?
Why Finland it be considered the most happy place for the world?
What kind of Ambazonia shall we deliver to our people?
Now, which kind of Ambazonia will go game for our people? Now, the time for we to think about the construction for the Ambazonia,
Political, economic, and social framework.
political and economic things them.
One that truly reflects our culture,
We get for do one way, it already show our own culture,
customs,
our way for do
particularities of
things,
our country,
the specific things the way, the specific type of way the way we do our things them for our tradition.
true vision for where we want to go.
We go hella way for direct way for the kind of country we want bilam.
Like Xiaoming, the former head of a Chinese state-owned asset management company,
Mao Zedong, that man when I be get some big company for China for the in those days.
Huarong Asset Management Co., was sentenced to death in January 2021.
They be sentenced for die for inside China for 2021. Lao Zedong, he be been a big businessman for China
on charges of taking bribes.
because he be take bribe.
Lai was equally accused of squandering public money.
Lai Zedong, they be also charged for court say he be chop public money, he be do corruption.
Illegally organizing banquets
He be make big party them.
and engaging in sexual dealings with multiple women.
And he be promiscuous, he be the take woman, sleep with woman them anyhow for inside China.
The Chinese Anti-Corruption Agency had noted.
The anti-corruption for China, they be right, they be see all the things that they put them for down.
What kind of Ambazonia?
Now, which kind of Ambazonia
To our people.
we will go give for our own
In
people?
July of this year,
July this year,
Zuma,
Jacob Zuma,
president of South
the former president for South Africa,
Africa, was taken into custody,
they be taking arrest he.
begin serving a 15-month prison sentence.
They don't put him for prison now for 15 months.
He was jailed for defying a constitutional court order
They be put him for prison because he no be obey order for some court when a constitutional court for South Africa
to give evidence at an inquiry investigating high-level corruption during his 9 years in office.
for some committee for court way they be investigate corruption way be happen time we be president for 9 years.
What kind of Ambazonia?
Now, which kind of Ambazonia we will go give for our people?
2020,
For 2020,
United States of America went
for
through a
America,
difficult election
they will go through difficult election for their
The
history.
incumbent sought ways to
Where the
overturn
person where
result
they
of the election.
lose election, he try for change the result for election.
Thanks to the independence and strength of various institutions of government,
Thank God say some American institution for their government, it will be independent, it will be free.
and an independent press,
And the press,
will of the majority
newspaper them,
prevail.
the majority, the will for the people where they express for the election, now it be prevail, now it be take charge.
state is a federal republic and a
So America na a federal republic
Representative democracy
and a
with three separate
democratic
independent
country
equal branches of government,
where you get 3 equal branches of government
including a bicameral legislature.
with a
Canada is a
2
federal
legislation
parliamentary
them,
democracy.
parliament them. Canada too
Germany
na
is a
democracy,
federal
when a
parliamentary
federal
democracy.
democracy.
Singapore
Canada
is
too.
equally a
Singapore
parliamentary
also.
democratic system. Botswana is a parliamentary representative
Botswana too
democratic
na a
republic.
parliamentary democratic republic.
Is South Africa.
Also South Africa be.
Botswana maintains an advisory house of chiefs.
Botswana get a advisory house of chief wey na the advise government.
A draft of any National Assembly bill of tribal concern must be referred to the House of Chiefs for advisory opinion.
Any government law wey they want make am for parliament wey concerning thing wey fit affect tradition or village people them, they must consult the House of Chief for Botswana.
The highest court of Botswana is the Court of Appeal.
The highest court for Botswana na the appeal court.
There are currently 8 judges of the Court of Appeal.
Now 8 judge them dey for that their court for appeal.
Who are all expatriates drawn from different parts of the Commonwealth.
Where all them na people the way they select them for Commonwealth country them.
Since independence in 1966.
Since Botswana began independence for 1966.
No Botswana has ever been appointed to the Court of Appeals.
They never ever appoint even
What
their own
kind
person
of
for their own court of
Ambazonia
appeal.
shall we deliver to our people?
Now which kind Ambazonia we will go give for our people them?
Freedom of the press and expression is an essential ingredient of our stable and successful democracy.
Freedom for press, that means that many people that they get access for information for publish them. It be very important for our democracy.
We believe in the open discussion of public issues.
We believe many people that they talk publicly about things the way it concern our public.
That affect our lives.
Things the way they affect our life, the way we will live our life.
Doctrine.
This doctrine be
I
important.
wholly disapprove of what you say, but will defend to death your right to say it.
Say this type of thinking, where even though I disagree with you, but I be prefer for die, for fight, for say me you get the right for talk them, for express way to way you want them, even though I disagree with you.
What kind of Ambazonia shall we deliver to our people?
Now which kind of Ambazonia will go give for our people them?
Country where every Ambazonian is innocent until can be proven guilty by the state.
A country where any man be innocent until them prove him beyond for the government institution that will be in charge.
One in which our children can go to school not in fear.
Ambazonia where we are picking if you go for school without fear.
Anticipation of higher learning and be taught in a language they understand.
Where they go learn for language where they understand them as they be grow up.
To foster our
so that they will contribute for the society.
Our people were treated by their police force with dignity and respect.
Ambazonia where police then go to treat people them with a lot of respect.
One in which no individual is above the law.
And Ambazonia where no man no be above the law.
What kind of Ambazonia shall we deliver to our people?
Now which kind Ambazonia who go give for our people them?
Iceland is known for its hot springs.
Iceland, some country where they for Europe they them people then don't know them for the hot spring then that water way they come off underground.
It is the only country in the world.
Iceland are the only country for the world
that is said to have obtained 100% of its electricity and heat from renewable sources.
Where you get all electric power now for these renewable resources, not before hydroelectric, not before electric where they give a pollution for the war.
The rivers of the interior of the country are resourced to generate 80%.
The water them for the country, now they give over 80% for their electricity.
This electricity needs through hydropower.
Through hydroelectricity.
Thermal fields provide up to 20% of the country's electricity needs.
Why this underground pressure, the way they move water from underground, it give over 20% for electricity need for Iceland.
The Atlantic state in Ambazonia is among the 5 rainiest places in the world.
For inside Atlantic state for Ambazonia, now one of the most places where you get highest rain for the world.
Over 10,000 milliliters of rain annually.
Where you get over 10,000 milliliter for rain every year.
The Menchum Falls in the Savannah state boasts of a tremendous amount of water cascading down over 80 feet.
For mention 4, for inside Savannah State, it get huge water potential. With water where the fall for inside big waterfall for day.
Capacity to generate millions of kilowatt of electricity annually.
It get power for produce huge kilowatts and for heavy electricity every year.
They need to build on a renewable energy infrastructure.
We need for build infrastructure the way it need to pollute environment,
including solar, hydro, geothermal, wind, and even nuclear power. Our economy remains crucial.
Including solar electricity. If we even get nuclear electricity.
What kind of Ambazonia?
Now, which kind of Ambazonia we go get for our people?
Science and technology are revolutionizing.
Science and technology, it change the way we learn.
Economic cooperation and development.
The way they organize organization them for economy, where they help country them for make good policy them.
Runs a global test of 15-year-olds in math.
This organization and they for 15 years now.
3 years to measure which countries are best preparing their students for the future.
They help country them for shape the way they prepare their picking them for future, for way in need to pollute the environment.
Asian countries tend to come up on top, with Estonia in Europe showing in 3rd position. Lithuania has made high-quality early education a priority.
Lithuania, they always take first for this organization, their assessment, because they train their picking them concerning this type of science and technology very well.
Almost every child in Estonia goes to kindergarten from the age of 3.
For 3 years old, education for that country be free. So you be 16.
Is encouraged. What kind of Ambazonia?
Now, which kind of Ambazonia will go get for our people then?
Ambazonia is primarily an agrarian economy.
Ambazonia is a place where agriculture na be number 1 for our economy.
Mainly for developing countries. It is the
agriculture na way for survive for plenty developing country them.
Primary source of employment, income, and food.
Now the main thing that way they give people the money for chop, money for do things them, they come on for farm.
Ambazonia is endowed with nature, with the right climate.
Ambazonia get good soil and good climate for prosperity for economy.
China is ranked by the World Food Organization as best producer of food commodities in the world.
Now so China they consider them like the best place where they produce chop for the world.
What kind of Ambazonia?
Now which kind of Ambazonia we will go get for our people them?
Ambazonia is home to one of the world's last remaining preserves of fauna and flora.
Our country being at the place where you get plenty this type of grass them, where it be unique, very diversified.
It boasts natural parks and picturesque landscapes.
We'll get natural parks them from the Atlantic states to mention 4.
The world over.
We'll get fine culture, beautiful country, where it be very good for sightseeing.
Access to nature that could make for a great destination for tourism.
If we make Ambazonia become a very good place for tourism.
Of Maldives GDP comes from tourism.
For Maldives, some country they call them Maldives, over 30% for their money for their country they come now for tourism, where people they can visit them.
The GDP of the Maldives is expected to reach 5.8 billion US dollar by the end of 2021.
The Maldives they get to their economy they can go to 5 point something billion for this coming year when a tourism it boast them.
This is a country with just under 530,000 people.
The country population will be under 530,000.
What kind of Ambazonia?
Now which kind of Ambazonia we you want them for your people then?
Has been celebrated as one of the best public transport systems in the world.
Hong Kong, they celebrate them like country where you get the best transportation for the world.
It is extremely clean.
It being a very clean place.
Very well connected to measure transit and great ability to move people and goods from one location to another.
It be one of the most connectivity country for the world, a place for the world where they connect the whole world together.
The transportation network equally addresses the issues related to serving people with disabilities.
The transportation for Hong Kong, it make them, even people the way them be crippled, their life it be easy.
Is the need to bolster the transportation network with increased roads, bridges, sea and airports in Ambazonia.
We go increase the road transportation, the network connectivity, bridges them for inside Ambazonia.
What kind of Ambazonia shall we deliver to our people?
Now, which kind of Ambazonia will the plan for again for our people?
Superb and robust defense architecture.
We must get very good defense also.
Ambazonia is nested in between La République du Cameroon and Nigeria.
We therefore will be surrounded by La République and Nigeria.
The state of Israel, as in Japan and South Korea, are all located in regions surrounded by states that continue to nurse an evil intention.
Country like Israel, Japan, and South Korea, then be around country the way they always get risk for fight war.
Citizens at a given age are recruited to serve in the
for those country them, all picking them for some certain age must get military training to prepare all their citizens them, where they feel call them anytime, they can defend their country. Ambazonia, their way for life, and the way they will exist, it must be in a kind way where you could always prepare yourself for defend yourself. Now, why that way for bring Biafra their independence too? It be so important for Ambazonia so that we will get good neighbor. Now, which kind of Ambazonia will the plan for game for our people then?
Happiness report is one.
The country where you go get there for the war, it most happiest people them.
With the strong social support.
Ambazonia will be in a country with where you get strong social system them, with good medical health care facilities
and life expectancy.
We go improve our life expectancy and quality of life.
And in which the citizens have the freedom to make life choices.
A country where people they go get choice for their life.
One where people feel secure.
One where people they go feel safe.
With low crime levels and high standards of living.
Where crime they go be very low, but a living standard where people they feel they get chop and all those good quality go be better.
I want to call upon you to stand firm.
At the call all man stand strong.
We must remain strong and steadfast.
All man must remain strong while hold our foot for ground.
In the conviction of our right to an independent state.
When it comes for our right to become independent country,
we need to remain laser focused.
We need to be very, very focused. We put our eye for the focus, for the target.
Laser focus.
Put your eye for target.
Together because as a people.
Together because like a people will be stronger
than any opposing forces.
Than any force we fight against we.
This generation will go down in history.
This generation will be remembered for history.
Again generation.
Like the never again generation.
The generation that endured all forms of oppression.
Generation where he resists all kind way for suffer for a foreign government in hand.
By colonial Cameroon.
From the colonial Cameroon.
Yet elevated the nation from the.
Yet would lift up the nation.
Ashes of destruction to become
from ashes for become a place for hope for all man where want freedom.
State.
For deliver a government, a state where it thrive, it prosper.
To posterity.
For prosperity.
Happy Independence Day, Ambalan.
Happy Independence Day, Ambalan. Fellow Ambazonians, that was the speech of the leader of our War of Liberation, Dr. Cho Ayaba. We will get a presentation for the ACN television network for analyze and further give substance to the speech. God bless you. Happy Independence.